Hello again. Next to me is Dr. Eric Cobb. He's a specialist for pain, health, and movement from the US. Eric, you specially focus on the brain. So what are the main principles of your training then?
So when you're working with athletes or kind of in the training world, basically the whole focus that we try to expand on in our courses is the idea that the brain's in control of everything. So if you're working to improve strength, flexibility, mobility, ultimately the brain is the target of everything that we do. And this, we take everything from kind of modern pain neuroscience, blend that actually into the athletic training world, and it's really been a nice marriage. Because what you start to see is same things that we would do for someone in pain. We're doing rehabilitation for knee pain. We can use those same concepts based on brain activity to also enhance performance. So like I said, it's a beautiful blend of rehabilitation and also improvement in movement capacity.
Okay, and how does it look like? So what do you with the athletes that they improve their performance?
So when you're working with athletes, it's interesting to see kind of a brain-based training program, because ultimately what you'll see is an increased set of exercises or changes in exercises. Number one, we're very specific in what we do. So while we may do strength training, we may do mobility training, a lot of that may be more unilateral in some cases based off what they have going on with their brain. If you have let's say a soccer player who's had a brain injury, a concussion last year, it may have altered what he is able to integrate. So we may have to be very specific in saying we're to do 80% of our work on the right side of the body for the next 6 weeks. We may then be including vision exercises, vestibular exercises as well. The whole goal being to try to reintegrate the neural systems that are supposed to then promote the actual motor performance.
Okay, so you talk about the input and the output.
Yeah.
So why is the input the important thing?
Well, actually, we talk about the idea of being neurocentric. And what that means is we give equal importance to the inputs, the integration, and the output. And if you look at most training programs, we're very output focused. Like we want to squat, we want to lunge, we want to sprint. But I tell people that the output is completely dependent upon the original input systems. So if I have poor, let's say, sensory information from my right foot, it's going to affect my running gait. It's going to affect my sprinting ability. So in general, whenever we, again, take in particularly high-level athletes, they've already had a lot of output training. So what we then have to do is go, all right, what inputs have been compromised that created the current you? So then we can do we can create some changes in the training program to hopefully improve the motor output.
Okay, so actually I think that's important to prevent injuries. And how does it work?
Yeah, so when you talk about inputs, it's a great question, particularly for injury prevention, because your brain has maps of your body, right? Everyone knows that at this point. So ultimately, if we have a compromised map, because let's say we've had a leg injury combined with some kind of inner ear injury, the mapping, meaning the connection between our brain and that knee, may be compromised. If you don't know where the knee is in space, the higher the likelihood of injury, particularly if you're in a contact sport, someone's running into you. So we typically see decreased motor control associated with all of these different brain functions. So whenever you restore all those inputs, you get a better map in the brain, better control, subsequently decreases in injury.
Okay, so our brain is the thing for everything.
I wish that yes. I can say a lot of different things. It's an integrated system, so everything from the periphery really matters, but at the end of the day, the brain is in charge of deciding what to do with all the information that's coming in. So I tend to say the brain's probably number one.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
My pleasure.